published 1449 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 15th of May 2018, updated 1851 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 15th of May 2018. As first days in office go, Ed Smith could hardly have made a better start as national selector than to make two bold choices in an England squad for the first test against Pakistan that manages to combine imagination with common sense. Just 24 hours after ECB chairman Colin Graves was bringing the English game further into disrepute with his latest gaffe, Smith stepped up to suggest there is at least a much more accomplished hand on the selection tiller. In comes the most gifted cricketer in England in Jos Buttler, who will bat at 7 despite not playing a red ball match since last September, and a young off-spinner of considerable promise in Somerset's Bess. Jos Buttler has been recalled to England's Test side ahead of the series against Pakistan. The 20-year-old off-spinner Bess will also make his bow in the first of this two-test series, and gone is the innate conservatism and questionably dull selections of James Whittaker's selection panel that was epitomised by the ill-fated choices of Gary Ballance and Liam Dawson for the first test of last summer. It would have been easy for Smith to stick with James Vince after he made 73 in his last Test innings in New Zealand and an unbeaten double hundred for Hampshire against Somerset, perfectly timed on the eve of selection. And it would have been easier to turn to Moeen Ali, who took 30 Test wickets last summer when it became clear that Jack Leach would not be able to play following the most cruelly of timed breaks to his left thumb. That England did not, and the selection of Buttler at least is very much down to Smith, is an encouraging first move from a new chief selector who was, it should be remembered, a controversial choice ahead of Andy Flower. Two of the old selectors in Angus Fraser and Mick Newell may remain until Smith appoints a new independent person later this summer, but this is a squad that has both the new man and coach Trevor Bayliss's stamp all over it. Ed Smith could hardly have made a better start as selector than to make two bold choices. Not least, Smith was able to talk at Lord's confidently and articulately about his choices, in stark contrast to a predecessor in Whittaker, whose public utterances were so cringeworthy that he virtually disappeared from view. First, Buttler, who returns to the Test side for the first time in 18 months with a license to play aggressively just as he would in white ball cricket, where he is among the most breathtaking and innovative talents in the world game. We felt this was the right time to bring in a player of Jos's unique gifts, what he brings to the team as a destructive batsman, a fantastic competitive presence and his innate leadership skills. When he was playing with such confidence and flair, said Smith, of a batsman excelling in the Indian Premier League to an extent his Test record, he averages 31, is beside the point, because he's evolved since then and become an even better player in the short form of the game. I'm fully aware he hasn't played a red ball game since the back end of last season, and our eyes are wide open. We just had a very strong feeling that we wanted to invest in this opportunity for Jos Buttler. Has earned his first call-up in 18 months after impressing in the Indian Premier League. Bess, 20, is also the right call in the absence of Leach and Mason Crane, ahead of another promising young spinner in Amar Virdi, who is still too raw for this level. The Devonian has impressed in every step he has taken since making his first-class debut against Pakistan at Taunton 2 years ago. It is a horrible stroke of misfortune for Leach, said former Kenton middle batsman Smith. But an opportunity opened up for us to look at a new spinner. Dom's had a terrific start to his career with bat, ball and as a character, and he has grabbed his opportunities in representative teams. The character in Bess, who will definitely play at Lord's, was evident in the reaction of a man who barely 3 years ago was moving on from Sidmouth Cricket Club because of limited opportunities. I was actually in IKEA with my girlfriend when I heard the news, said Bess. I've just got a new house, so we were looking for some new sofas and I was having an argument with my missus. Smith said Bess, Wright, had made a fine start top his career with the bat ball, and as a character a number popped up on my phone and my girlfriend said, take it because you never know what could happen, so I did and the rest is history. Ed provided me with an amazing moment in IKEA. I couldn't quite believe it. England are right to ignore for now the claims of the impressive Ben Foakes and leave the gloves with Johnny Bairstow and to promote one of the best batsmen to 5. And it is right that Joe Root will bat where he always should have done at 3, a move that Smith insists is very much down to the captain. The only possible quibble is the retention of Mark Stoneman, who survives despite failing to pass 60 so far in his Test career and not yet reaching 30 so far this season for Surrey. Smith, Wright, showed nerve and imagination with his first England Test selection. It is believed that Root very much wanted Stoneman to stay ahead of Nick Gubbins, who at this stage is a better player of pace than spin, and Keaton Jennings, but clearly Stoneman is in the last chance saloon now. So, with Mark Wood the favourite to claim the last bowling place ahead of Chris Woakes, English cricket got something right with the first selection of a summer that has already been full of chaos and tumult, and we are barely in the middle of May. Now all England have to do is get it right against Pakistan at Lord's next week and at Headingley in the second Test. What could possibly go wrong?